Today we're going to be making ragu, a recipe that's been on my culinary bucket list for a while now, but Joshua Weissman's recent upload got me inspired to do it today. We're going to take his recipe, which I'm sure is absolutely delicious, and cut the effort in half, while maintaining at least 99% of the flavor. Welcome to Class A Cooking. Let's get started. So here I have some stew meat, 2.5 pounds of that. I salted it. It's on paper towels. It's drying. I have a bunch of baby carrots chopped up. I didn't feel like having to peel regular carrots. His recipe calls for like 3 or 4 large carrots. I have 2 big cloves of garlic minced and 2 medium onions minced. His recipe calls for 1 large, I believe. We also have balsamic vinegar, some wine. His recipe calls for red wine. I'm doing another recipe, a separate recipe that calls for white wine later this week. I think John's actually going to cook that one. And I did not feel like buying 2 different types of wine. And red wine has a tendency to dominate a dish. I know typically beef is made with red wine. However, I think this white wine is going to A, prevent me from having to buy 2 bottles of wine, and B, just add that sweetness, tartness, acidity that we're looking for from the red wine into this dish without overpowering it. And yeah, as you can see, we broke out the good stuff. This was like $5.99. This is primo. Tomato paste, better than bouillon, beef stock, canned tomatoes. So in his recipe, he goes through and he chars grape tomatoes, and 1, that seems like a huge pain. 2, it seems like a sin because I eat those tomatoes in my salad and I did not want to buy a ton more to make this. So I have these. I'm going to use these. Not going to char them. Just going to use them. And then garlic confit. He added way more garlic in his recipe than I have here. So I'm going to supplement with the garlic confit. And that'll give like a nutty, subtle garlic flavor to this. So as you can probably guess, since it's me and we're in an RV and it's simpler, we're going to be using an Instant Pot. So I'm going to get that ready, fire it up, and we're going to drop the beef in. Now we have our Instant Pot going on high, saute. I'm just going to add a little bit of avocado oil. So let's drop a test piece. That's relatively dry. And we're not going to crowd our pan because that'll drop the heat in the pan too much and we'll lose our sear. There's that sear. So I'm going to pull this meat out. So, yes, searing this meat does increase the flavor, the beefy flavor in the dish. It actually is not required. So, if you're looking for an even simpler method, you could just throw this all into the Instant Pot, turn it on to high pressure, and let it go for 30 minutes and call it a day. And you'd probably end up with 90% of the flavor. That last piece of that. Now, I'm going to add our carrot and our onion. By the way, I'm looking into getting a second camera because switching one camera that's also my phone back and forth is not ideal. So if anyone has any recommendations for what I should use. And this is Italian, so we're not trying to really get any color on this. All right, so now I'm going to add in some tomato paste. plug in some of this fancy wine. And then we'll do a couple tablespoons of vinegar, balsamic vinegar. Let some of that alcohol cook off since it's not going to while the lid is on. Okay, so now we're gonna throw the garlic in. Open this can of tomatoes. And I'm not going to strain it, I'm just gonna throw the whole thing in. Throw in some of our garlic confit. At this point, we can turn this off. Okay, let's throw in some better than bouillon. I'm gonna add like that much. It's probably like a tablespoon. This is the regular, not reduced sodium or anything, so I try to be a little careful with it. Okay, let's add our beef back in. Nestle that all in. Okay, I'm gonna add in a few bay leaves. Let's say 1, 2, 3. Those are gonna be a pain to fish out since they're small. And he called for thyme leaves. I just bought dried thyme. He also called for basil, and I forgot that, so. I'll say that much. Stir that all together. And then we'll throw our lid on. Pressure cook high, 30 minutes, start. And I'm gonna clean up and go for a run and check in when it's done. See you then. You'll see me then. All right, let's check on our ragu. Certainly smells good. It looks good. All right, let's see what our beef looks like here. Oh yeah. Tender, falling apart. I don't know if you can see that. Look at that. All right, so I'm going to put the lid back on this and let it cool down in the pot, and then we're going to taste test it tomorrow, because like all stews, like this essentially is, it's going to taste 10 times better tomorrow. So this is yesterday's bolognese. I wish the sauce was a little thicker. I made fettuccine with it. I know that's not the correct noodle, but that was all Walmart had. So let's give this a try. That is delicious. I don't know if Josh's is better, but if this is 98% of his with less work, then sign me up. I'm gonna devour this. All right, and that is it. That's how you make a delicious ragu. I hope you enjoyed the process as much as I did, and we'll see you in the next one.